Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and as the dust goes ahead and settles on another transfer window, now some might say what dust considering the lack of action and transfer activity from this football club, but busy or not, we are here to reflect on this transfer window closing, not only the ins and outs by the way, but the clear direction that this club now is in my opinion, which against the grain of a lot of people's reaction with that window closing, isn't he actually as bad as a lot of people are making it to be? But I know that's bold because a lot of people are angry and frustrated and voicing their displeasure at the lack of transfer activity. But again, all I'm asking is give me 10-15 minutes of your time, I'll go ahead and discuss it, and then you can all shout at me and tell that I'm wrong, the usual way we do our business. But as always, we're going to start off with maybe the obvious one, and that's the ins brought into the club, which won't take long. In fact, I feel like I could be a little bit cheeky and say if you don't mind hitting that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated, and hell, subscribing if you think this channel is worth subscribing to, as over 50% of our regular viewers still haven't hit the subscription button. If we could start translating them into subs, that 70k milestone might just become a reality. But let's go ahead and try to earn the like and subscription then, shall we? Again, the ins are one player brought in January and one player brought in the summer. But I guess we should talk about the one player we actually brought in the building in January, and that is Mr. Rafael Fernandez, who's got off to a pretty of a negative start thanks to Phil Clement's presser and an interview in which he said he wasn't ready yet, and that has just got a lot of people feasting at the carcass of the transfer window frustration, as the only player we brought in is apparently somebody that's not ready to go. But see, if I'm honest with you, and you know, I have been quick to voice my displeasure at Phil Clement and be frustrated at a lot of his stuff, cheeky toe injections for Zach Lovelace for instance, but this one I feel like I can cut him a wee bit of slack, because maybe what he's actually saying there is that he's no a duffer or anything, or he's nowhere near playing. This is just a guy that's not played a game of football for over a year previously before getting that substitute appearance for Rangers. So in a way he is right, because the guy went ahead and rode the bench. He pretty much was doing the Tour de France without any pedalling for nearly a year, as he hadn't played any top flight professional matches. So I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt in that aspect, and again hope we get to see Rafael playing in a Rangers team when he gets up to match sharpness, because again, clearly he wasn't. And it might end up taking a bit of patience to get him to that spot, but hopefully when he does get on the grass, he can go ahead and impress us so much that we collect on that option to buy and bring him in permanently. Again, it's up to him. It's ahead of him. If he's hungry, if he puts the hard work in, it's there for him to earn his place to stay at this club. But again, what type of player is he then, shall we? Well, we brought in a centre-back, which I feel like if you asked every single Rangers fan on planet Earth going into this transfer window what we needed to go ahead and sign, I think a lot of people would have said a big centre-half, and that's exactly what he is. Now again, he's not really the hard-nosed header, a brick wall style Katic defender that a lot of people voice their opinions on wanting to be brought in, because again we do get bullied a lot in the air, but he is a centre-back and he's got his own attributes. He's quick across the ground as well, he's a bit physical on the old deck, so hopefully again when he does get the opportunity he can impress everybody. But we definitely needed to bring in a centre-half, so that is one tick for me, because your centre-back spot, again, all season, who's in that rotation? You've got John Souttar, who is injury prone. You've got Leon Balogun, who is injury prone. You've had Dujon Sterling play there, who is also injury prone. You've got Robin Proper, who's been brought in to the football club, and he's actually had 3 niggles and knocks already in his Rangers career. It's been absolute madness, especially when you sprinkle in Leon King, who was a homegrown talent, supposed to be in and around it, isn't he trusted to play centre-half. We've had to use the likes of James Henry at centre-back, so I think it's clear we needed to bring in a centre-half, so it's definitely a tick on that old box. But what I'd actually go a wee bit deeper in saying, I know he's no this, and this, what a lot of people wanted, but what it does for me is it doesn't hinder the likes of Clinton and Salah, right? Because if you think about it, if we had went and got maybe a journeyman or a Grant Hanley or any of these people you seen stupidly linked to this club over the transfer window, what is that? That is a hell of a lot of wages brought in, and that is someone that is going to be playing week in, week out. He's going to jump right up to the pecking line. And do you think Big Soapy, knew that he's fully fit, isn't he going to be starting games of football? Do you think he's just going to be bombed out the rotation? No, it would be probably Soapy and whoever whoever we brought in with a hell of a lot of money. Where does that leave Clinton Nisala? That leaves him looking at the bookshelf like Matthew McConaughey in the old Interstellar, just banging, wishing he could get on the actual park, and that would have hurt and hindered his development. But what we've done is went ahead and got a player that could possibly be another Clinton Nisala, another young laddie. So I didn't hate this, ladies and gentlemen, and I didn't hate the way that it's actually unfolded, because I feel like Clinton Nisala is a brilliant player right now, and he's definitely going to have some doings, absolutely, but he's progressing and he's young and he's got an opportunity to get better on very, very little wages as well. So I'm fine with that aspect, and the fact we've not went ahead and splashed the cash and brought in someone that's going to jump ahead of him and push him down the pecking order, I'm completely fine with. Now, again, I said what I said after the Ross County, it's no Suitor and who and Proper and who, it's Nisala and who, and for me that's Suitors and Propers battle to get in beside Big Clinton. And again, that's the way the pecking order should be if we're playing players based on their performances, because Clinton's looked better than the other two over the last couple of months. Now again, John's just back for injury, but if you think of John's first 5 games compared to Clinton's first 5 games, there's one playing a hell of a lot better. So let's ride the hot hand. So to wrap up, it's a signing we needed to bring in because of the injury proneness and players we can't rely on to be available at centre back, but it also doesn't negatively impact one of our best performing young centre backs right now. In fact, it complements them and maybe even enhances them in that as well. It doesn't block the pathway to young players with high potential, which if you stay with this video over the next 10 to 15 minutes, you'll see that is one of the most clearest pathways this club is now taking, and something I can get behind. Next up, the only other player we brought into the football club is Mr. Lyle Cameron, who obviously I made a second video and I made 2 videos on this month, so don't worry, I'm not going to sit and repeat myself, but everyone knows my opinion on Lyle. He's coming in at the end of the season, he's getting the opportunity to continue to play games for Dundee, continue his development and come into Rangers in the summer a better player, which again is all great sunshines and rainbows. Again, talking about development, giving young players an opportunity. He's going to have 6 months playing football at Dundee, where he is a vital cog in that machine, and then he's coming up the road in August. And for me, this is exactly the type of mentality we need as well, because you look at his signing in the summer and what position he plays and what he brings in. Again, young, he's attacking, he's a hard worker, he gets to score goals and an assist, and you think about who he's going to be battling for positions, you're maybe looking at the likes of Kieran Dowles and the Tom Lawrences in terms of that rotation, and we've already made clear signs of moving those players out. Kieran Dowles away out on loan, and Tom Lawrence is getting his minutes to build himself up, but I think it's quite clear to everybody it's his last season at this club. And if you look at them two, right, and then you think, hey Lyle, now I think Tom Lawrence is a great player, everyone knows that's just getting him on the park, but you look at those two, the ridiculously high wages they've got compared to little old Lyle's wages coming in to Rangers. It's an absolute no-brainer. It cleans the decks, it cleanses the massive wage bill, and again, based on performances, you're bringing in a guy who's averaging a goal or assist every 2 games so far this season. The averages a goal or assist every 3.3 matches of his career with over 150 games played. He's won Young Player of the Year, he's won Player of the Year, he's won Players Player of the Year. He's always up for individual accolades. So for me, again, just circling back to something I said yesterday, it's a no-brainer for me and another step in the right direction, because we're getting massive journeymen and massive wages off the bill, or trying to get that. Obviously Kieran Dowell ends up leaving the club at the end of the season, whilst also bringing in young talented players with a higher upscale and higher potential on very little wages compared to the others. That's a step in the right direction. It's something we've all wanted for this club for far too long. I think this deal of Lyle Cameron will look a hell of a lot better in 6 months' time, when the likes of Dowell is away from the football club, and when Tom Lawrence possibly is cashed in on, when Lyle's in and around the building, and when you're bringing on a Lyle, or Lyle starting, and you're able to see what he is able to do. I think people's expectations and people's excitement of Lyle will definitely go all the way up, and again, it's putting the club on the right way instead of wasting ridiculous wages on nothing and getting very little back. This kid's shown in his career, when he's given an opportunity to play games which he needs to be given in a Rangers shirt, he impacts games with goals or assists. His career has shown it. So yeah, another one, a young talented player that we're backing and we're starting to create a pathway for to perform next year. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You know, that's it for the ends. And if you go ahead and look at that, ladies and gentlemen, we have signed only 2 players in the January transfer window. That has brought a lot of frustration to the fan base, especially considering only one is actually going to be able to impact the games right now, and Clement said he's not ready to play. So I get it. If you're annoyed, you can be annoyed. There's no right or wrong answers right here. But with the people that saying, oh, we've only brought one person in, or oh, we've only strengthened by one player, or anything like that, I didn't necessarily feel that's true, because I look at it a different way, and I look at the way we've worked our business with a couple loans out and moving people, which we will get to in a minute. But I'm looking at the likes of Bailey Rice, I'm looking at the likes of Finlay Curtis, I'm looking at Paul Nassau as well, bringing in here, bringing in Big Nizzy into the mixture as well, and you're seeing guys like Clinton and Salah be given opportunities. That's 4 people brought in, and it's actually getting to play games that weren't getting to play games previously, and we've no stifled their development, we've no pushed them back down by going ahead and signing journeymen on massive wages or silly stopgaps and gambles and punts in the January transfer market. We've actually moved people out to give these guys and give these young players more opportunities to see minutes in what is a development season, and a season that needs to be of progression for this football club, considering how far away we are in the league and the stuff we've lost in league football. We have a real opportunity of 6 months to give these young players an opportunity to play and get better. Now again, it's no guaranteed that they will all make it and they'll all be great. Again, there is ones that rate higher than others in that list, but again, they're given an opportunity right now. So it's not just one player brought in January, one player getting to play. You're looking at 4 names there that weren't getting anywhere near the grass 2 months ago, but now have been given an opportunity and a pathway again to go ahead and play. That's the way I look at it. And I think that mentality of no stopgaps or no journeymen to block the progression of our young talented players with high potential is backed up and shown by who has moved on from the club. Despite no bringing in all these players to replace them, we still moved on several players. The first one is going to be Kieran Dell. We've already mentioned a couple of times, especially in the terms of the rotation. But where was the likes of Kieran Dell coming on, or where was he starting? It was in the attacking midfielder areas, and it was in the midfield and even the centre mid position in some of his performances that he's played for Rangers. And as we said, Lyle Cameron comes in for there when he does join in the summer. But moving away Lyle, right now you've got the likes of Finlay Curtis that can play there, you've got Nizzy that can go ahead and play in the positions, and more importantly, especially when Kieran Dell was getting substituted in the centre mid positions in some of the big games that he went ahead and played for Rangers, we've now given an opportunity for the likes of Bailey Rice to be that rotation. And I think if you ask a lot of the Rangers fans who they want to see be given opportunities in mere minutes over the next 6 months, Bailey Rice's name is going to come up consistently and constantly by every single Rangers fan. Well, moving Kieran Dowell out there leaves a massive gap in that rotation that for me, where he filters in multiple positions, again at that centre mid spot where he was subbed on a lot, that is now Bailey Rice's, which again is a positive. Now again, apparently wages are being covered and everything like that, and you never know with loans, so I'm not really going to dive into that aspect, but obviously it's a cost cutting measure, absolutely getting rid of his massive wages, but he's down there. Apparently he played well in his first game, good luck to him, hopefully continues that over the next 6 months, as there's a potential for him to move on to Birmingham permanently at the end of that as well. So fingers crossed he can impress enough to earn a permanent move and move on from this club. But again, his exit right now does save a bit of money, absolutely, with the wages and that's been covered. But again, Bailey Rice, Curtis is now getting opportunities they wouldn't have had if big wages was on the bench. Rabbi Matondo is a very similar story with a very similar outcome. However, it is a little bit different, right? Because Rabbi did have flashes and did have his odd moments here or there, and is obviously a left winger, which we genuinely do not have, apart from Oscar Cortes, who we are gambling on finally getting fit and being able to prove his, because again, we're still to pay for him in the summer. Everyone's forgot about the buttons it's going to cost to bring him to the club permanently, as we've already got that obligation to buy. But talking about right now in terms of fitness, you've moved on Arabi, but you've no brought anybody in, which again has caused a lot of frustration. We needed a left winger, CJ, I get what you're saying, but we needed a left winger, did we, ladies and gentlemen? And stay with me for a second, right? Because if we had went and signed our left winger or spent the money to bring in this guy or this guy, whoever was the flavour of the month on social media, if we had brought them in to play left wing, that directly impacts several players. It's not just the young laddies. We're talking about the courtesies and all that. It's not them we're talking about established players in that starting 11 right now. We're talking about the likes of Barami, who a lot of people are out on, and that is fair enough. But it's also taken out of play Mr. Hadji as well, which again might sound daft because Hadji is a 10 and that's where he wants to naturally play, but that isn't where Hadji actually plays for his football club, especially if we get to see the formation and style that we want to see with the two strikers on the park. We all love that. That's where we feel like we need to go further. That's where we need to be as a team. I think that's what we all shout anyway. Well, if we had went ahead and signed a left winger, we're then moving and losing potentially Hadji in the starting 11, or if we do put Hadji in the starting 11, it's not going to be out on the right because Czerny has been brilliant for us this season. It's then going to go into the centre attacking midfielder area, taking one of those strikers away, and then we're slapped back into the exact same formation with the exact same play style that struggled all season long with just one striker. And then you're maybe losing Egeman, then you're rotating in Dessers, then it's back and forth, then that frustration is built up once again. So maybe it is a good thing we never went ahead and splashed the cash and tried to bring in another stopgap to play left wing for 6 months, because again, Oscar is there. He will get stronger. I know everyone's turned his back on him, but hopefully he can eventually come in. Then we have got a left winger, but right now with the formation and style of play that actually works, it's Barami and Hadji on the left, so Egeman and Dessers or Egeman and Danilo can play in the central areas with Czerny at the other side. So again, it's another step in the right direction, not only in terms of the youth getting some minutes here or there, but the actually style of play and the other players I also want to see in the starting 11. It's a positive move in my opinion, especially getting rid of Rabi's massive wages as well. And now I know he scored on his debut, came on at half time, scored a brilliant, it's honestly a brilliant goal, and everyone's saying look at what he's managed to do for Hanover in his first start there. Maybe we're the problem, maybe he wasn't the problem, but let's go back to the sentence. He's scoring for Hanover in the second division of German football. No disrespect, but the pressure, the expectations is right down to the gutter. There is a hell of a lot more space for the opposition, or for him to run into. Sorry, it's not as part of the bus, you know, in a ball dominant team that's playing against teams that are just trying to cling on for dear life week in and week out. He'll go there and he'll probably do brilliant. I certainly hope he does, as again there is an option to buy, but none he does in his 6 months playing in the second division of German football is going to make me think we made a mistake moving him out. Again, for me, it's for the betterment of the team, and we've finally got a regime, and we've finally got somebody that's actually putting the team first rather than silly individuals. And I think it's again another step in the right direction, which again I feel like maybe people's annoyed at me. I'm a wee bit scared in this video because I've seen the reaction to the transfer window. I know what Twitter and that's like. Now I'm coming to you and saying I like several pieces there, but again I just do. And I'm not going to lie about it. But again, that is two of the biggest names, if you will, and maybe the two biggest talking points in terms of rotation and squad and the style of play. But they're not the only ones who have left the football club in January. We also did make some decisions on player careers and help develop them elsewhere as well. The likes of Alex Lowry saga is finally over as he's away down to League One now. You've got the likes of Cole McKinnon going on loan to Ayr, which I really like. Now, Cole is a good player. He showed glimpses of it so far in the very, very short period of time he's been given at Rangers. But if you're talking about youth level and Hings won and individual accolades, it was him constantly. He just needs the game time that he's not going to get right now. Now again, is he going to make that step up? It's doubtful right now, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I think that's why he's getting loaned out rather than in the rotation, the likes of Baylor Rices, etc. But this kid badly needs consistent game time, and I really hope he goes to Ayr, kicks on and takes it to the next level, because he could be another one that's interesting to look at coming in to the summer, a young gun, if you will. But again, he needs to kick on a lot. But Clement's given him the opportunity by loaning him out and giving him that game time, as was the likes of Adam Devine as well. You know what I mean? He got kicked in the heat in his first game. You know what I mean? He got kicked in the heat, then sent off for it. By God, they truly didn't ever forgive you playing for Rangers Football Club, but that's a decent loan for him. I don't think he's ever really going to break into the Rangers, if I'm being honest, but it gets him out there, gets him some game time, and I wouldn't be surprised if we move him on in the summer if he performs well and gets a wee cheeky move. And another one that's moved out is Robbie Fraser as well, running down the old left channel. He's playing well for Livingston, already chipped in with a goal as well, and that's a very good loan for him. All positive steps in not only the club's decisions but also the players' decisions, because either some of them are going to kick on and get better to help us in the future, or what's most likely for a lot of them is they're going to play well enough to then get a wee bit of money for his club and move on and follow their development elsewhere, which again has to happen. The only real negative and the only real frustration that I've got so far of the transfer window is what happened with Zach Lovelace. Now again, we touched on this for the Ross County video, and we really drum it home what happens if you didn't give these young players opportunities to play, if they're not guaranteed a pathway to the team, if they didn't see their futures playing games. No, everybody cares about money, and I think Zach Lovelace went ahead and showed that. Now again, there's reasons he wanted to go home, he wanted to be closer to family, etc, etc. I get all that, but I can't help but feel that we maybe failed a laddie who broke into the first team at Millwall down in the Championship at 15 years old. Think of what you were doing at 15. He was playing in the Championship for a side like Millwall at 15 years old, right? I can't help but feel there was something in there, and clearly there has been glimpses. Again, he was picked to be the heir apparent over Ross McCausland. He was brilliant in his first start, and he went down with a serious injury, and he's never quite recovered from that in terms of being given another opportunity to really start a game and impact again and say, right son, go ahead. And there, he was never given that again after losing it due to an injury, and he's went back home and he's went down to Millwall. Now apparently we've got a decent deal out of this one with potential future sell-ons, which we might need, because if this kid goes down there, gets the opportunity to play and kicks on the way that a lot of people talk about him and everything like that, he could be something pretty good down there, and he could go on to have a pretty good career. And again, hopefully that returns in terms of some money for us in the future. That would be very, very nice. But again, it does show you the difference in the previous regime to what we're now talking about, and the whole theme of this video is clearing pathways for young players to see their future in the starting 11. Maybe Zach got his head turned. Maybe Zach over the last 3-4 years where he's sat and done nothing but occasionally get 5 minutes, as Hud said, you know what, I want to go somewhere else, and he's got the reassurances from Millwall that he's going to get that chance. He's not going to get it again. He is naturally a striker. Is he going to get over the likes of Egeman? No, ladies and gentlemen. So it's maybe the best move for his career, but it is a clear example of the previous regime and the new regime, and I think that deserves a wee bit of praise, because what Zach couldn't see, you know what I mean, Bailey Rice is not, are now getting the opportunity to play, and they're going to be given the opportunities going forward, and that for me is a step in the right direction as a football club, and it's something that should have been happening for far, far too long. I mean, if we were signing Zach now as a 15-year-old today, ladies and gentlemen, everyone would be buzzing, because you could see potentially an option, but again, it's just been far too long. It's been 4 years and nothing. He feels like his career has stalled, so he's went back home and going to try and pick up his career elsewhere. Fair enough in that aspect. Again, hopefully it kicks on so we get a wee bit of money, but I did think that's very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and it's worth mentioning what happened previously to what's happening now. And for me as a club, I think we're in a better direction with this mindset of let's give these young players an opportunity. So I don't know how this video is really going to be received, or what you're going to be saying down in the comment section below. I could be getting a lot of shouts and everything like that, but I have been very, very critical of Clement and how this club's been run and some of the decisions we've made over the years, and I've been wanting youth to be given an opportunity. I've been wanting to stop signing all these journeymen, so now that we're actually stopping to date and we've actually took a transfer window to put the club first and prioritise youth and clear the decks and clear some of the bloated wages, I can't then sit and complain and pretend that I hate this, we've not signed anybody. We brought one into the building, one's coming in the summer, and there's 3 or 4 youngsters that's now going to be given guaranteed game time for the rest of the year. That for me is a positive step in a very, very long ladder to get us back to being a successful team. But truly, that's how I feel. It's not I know it's not the sexiest transfer window, but it might just be the first step on that long ladder that this club needs to get back to being a successful team, and that could be on the shoulders of the likes of Bailey Rice's. Now again, I've said all this, but now it's on Phil to remember all that and go ahead and pick the young lads and give them opportunities, especially in Scottish football. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted rid of Tom Lawrence. That was one of my non-negotiables as well when I made that video, but considering the European games, etc., he's already registered, and the swapping and all that we're taking, having to take a number, it makes sense to at least get him up speed in case he can sprinkle some of his magic in Europe. But again, as a squad, I feel like it is a step in the right direction, but more so as a club, it's finally a step in the right direction, and hopefully more duffers are leaving this club in the summer, and that's my thoughts and opinions. I want Reddy Rabbi full time, I want Reddy Dowell, I want rid of the likes of Ben Davies's, all these names that are still attached to this club. We need to move on in the summer, and hopefully these young laddies can take the opportunity they're now given to bury the Rangers careers of the players that previously weren't good enough. And that's my thoughts and opinions of what is a lot of people saying the worst transfer window. I didn't hate it, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very, very nervous. But that's my thoughts and opinions. What about you? Let me know yours down in the comment section below. I'm sure you will all let me know I'm completely wrong, and it will be a tasty comment section. But that's just how I feel. How about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And as always, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.